And where did you meet up with the young lady from Bethany? I mean, how does all that come to pass? I mean, just
So that's one of the networking groups that I do a lot of networking, as I know you guys do too. And I met Eunice Shin from Bethany Christian Services at a B&I meeting, and she was the nonprofit in that group. So that's how I made that connection.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways to help people, man. It's really remarkable. I mean, and you never know what's success. What is success for somebody like in those types of scenarios? We just did an event a couple of weeks ago. We were at the Timothy School, which is in Berwyn, I think. Is that where it is? I don't know. It's on the main line. Right. So we're out there. It's it's one of or the oldest school that services the autistic community.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm involved with a nonprofit that is run by a young man. He's 15 years old, and his mission is kind of like anyone, anywhere, anytime can get a bike.
Mm-hmm.
And he partnered with these bird bikes, and they're like big 4-wheel bikes. They're tip resistant, I think would be the term. And we got to go up there, and we brought the bikes, and it was going to be like a drag race type of scenario. Like the way that we had planned it was that it was going to be this drag race, and we just brought a bunch of bikes up there, and start line, finish line. We got these little trophies for anybody who wanted to run down. And we thought it was just going to be their kids and their siblings and stuff like that. And families are walking up, and there's these kids. They're like nonverbal, right? And they don't speak, and they don't communicate with their families, and they're like, well, we wish we could get them on a bike. I'm like, hey, give it a shot. You want to get on? And they jump on, and the next thing you know, mom and dad are on one too, and like the whole family is riding bikes up and down, and everyone's smiling and laughing.
That's awesome.
At one point, we had grandma, mom, dad, brothers, sisters, all just kind of moving around on the bike, and they were able to like communicate, in a way that they connected in a way that they hadn't before. It was like a shared experience, and if we had gotten what we wanted, they would have just driven it in a straight line, and that would have been it. You know what I mean? Like it was going to be start, finish. Somebody brings it back, start, finish. And having the opportunity to kind of step back and allow it to evolve the way that it needed to. It was really one of the cooler things that I've been involved with.
It's amazing when you go into something with a preconceived notion of how you're going to help, and then just happen to take the time to listen to what people actually need. Yeah. It doesn't always align. I think it's more about you went into the situation not knowing how you wanted to do that, and it just presented itself to you.
Yeah.
And that's what I think needs to happen a little bit more, especially because I think people feel like nonprofits and it's like a pill you want to take. Let me take it now, I feel better.
Sure.
But did you really help anybody? Anything you do really other than
did it serve the community?
Did it serve the community? Did it serve the purpose of the person that's actually in need? Yeah. And sometimes if you listen, people will tell you the truth. You may not want to hear
what they want, what they need, right? I mean, and that ability to be able to adapt to the situation as well, right?
You want to hear something interesting? So years ago, I've had all kinds of hobbies throughout my life. I used to paint furniture. And Dom's mom...
You and the furniture.
Dom's mom posted on Facebook that her son was learning how to paint furniture. And if anybody had like an old piece of furniture they wanted to donate, so he could practice on it. And I reached out to her and I said, I can do one better than that. Not only can I bring you a piece of furniture, but I can bring you paint supplies because I've got way too much. Okay. And so I went over there and I met her kids and I learned all about the bikes and stuff like this. But this is probably right when he was like starting it. He had all these bikes in the front yard.
So you knew Don before?
Yeah. And so, and then I know. So, and the kids were super nice, and their mom is a Karen, right? Karen, very sweet lady, and then to see what it's become, it's amazing. I'm very proud of him.
It really is, and it's adaptive, right? And it's the same thing, Pat's question always is, we're 5 years. What does it look like?
Yeah.
Right. And the funniest part about that is Pat doesn't have an answer for the question that he always asks. And
I've just been proven wrong every 5 years, so I stopped trying to predict the future and I can predict that I will be doing something. It'll be maybe in addition to or different than what I'm doing.
Mhm.
It's just, I don't want to pin myself down to a plan because COVID, if anybody had a plan, they weren't expecting that.
Yeah.
And I think there's things 2008 when the real estate market crashed. I don't think people planned for that.
No.
So, and I'm sure if you flash back to 2018, you didn't plan on doing what you're doing.
No, I mean, 18, all the major movements, I mean, because I've been in and out of a lot of stuff, right? I think I've held 3 jobs where I was an hourly employee and a lot of years, right? I can tell the story about Mr. Wonderful, and you know, I can see the similarities of myself and stuff like that, right? So I was living in East Lansdowne, and I was probably a freshman in high school. I got a job working at a trade magazine stuffing envelopes, right? Like, and I was making like $12 an hour, like in '93.
That's
So,
pretty
like,
good.
that was a pretty solid job back
Right.
then, you know? And I remember going in like one day and they were just like, you know, I'm like, got done stuffing the envelopes. I'm like, all right, so I'm done. They're like, can you go clean the bathroom? And I'm like, no. And they were like, what? I'm like, I don't clean toilets, right? And they were like, well, it's part of the job. I'm like, it was not part of the job. Like, I would not have taken a job.
Strangely,
cleaning toilets.
I had a job in East Lansdowne too.
Oh yeah?
When I was younger, but I worked for a recycling company, picking up newspapers and then shoveling them into a big hopper
Oh yeah, down on Baltimore Pike.
on Union Avenue.
Yeah.
Where there was a big pit.
Yeah.
So it's funny. You worked.
Say.
Our lives have intertwined like a decade or so apart.
Wow.
We should be like the Notebook.
Maybe we are Pat. Maybe that's where we end up in 5 years. But it all does.
Right.
It gets real. It gets real reductive, right? I mean, the more time you spend with people, the more you listen, the more you hear, right? Not with the intent to respond, but like you actually just kind of like let people talk, and you get vulnerable in front of people, and people start to get vulnerable in front of you. You like find these intersections, right? Like you knew Karen.
Yeah.
We were down in these lands, right? So
I think people of certain weights in water will find themselves. Sure. If that makes sense. I think that the people
water
that
seeks its own level, isn't that the term?
well, I think the people in the water, their buoyancy will seek each other because they're certainly bottom feeders.
Mhm.
And then there's people that kind of float above everything. So you always want to be around people that make you better. So you want people above you if possible. That's what
I agree.
my way of going about things. Some people want people below them. They want minions to follow them.
Yeah, I don't want to.
They're not bringing, I want to bring people into my life that make me better and that I can benefit from. And hopefully I can in small way help benefit them. Sure. So they'll want me around. But it's funny how we've developed some groups together, and it's funny how the people have congregated that have a very like outlook on things.
Mhm.
And it's almost like there's someone pulling strings, but it's just like the randomness of it is beyond me. I don't understand how we can have 400 people now and the things we're doing here that kind of everybody is moving in the same direction, in the same cadence.
It's cool to see a movement like
It
that,
is.
though, you know, and you know the idea that everybody wants to rally around a future, right, defined or otherwise, right? So everyone's working towards a common goal, right? And you know, I think that you know what we're building and what we've had an opportunity to start to kind of nurture. It's really cool to like watch people like the mentorship piece, you know.
Right.
It's really remarkable, like to as somebody that man, doing your own thing is scary. We were talking about this, right? We were talking about this on the walk over here. Like, it is daunting
Oh yes.
to know that like the buck starts and stops.
And now
Yeah.
you basically are paying to do what you love to do by
Yes.
having a building.
Yes.
So it's not only now not a job, it's more of a expensive, really, really expensive hobby until you're up and running.
Yeah. 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 Oh
So
yeah.
it's frightening, but the level when this is fully up and functional and running, whether you bring a client in here or not, just what that represents puts you at a different level in your industry.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's, you know, a lot of people will go out and do things because they love to do it or if it's a hobby. There's other people that have made substantial investments in education and resources and people with you that will immediately bring you at a different level of conversation when you're
Right.
meeting with potential clients and or businesses or whoever.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, and here's the thing too, like a lot of times when I do design, sometimes it's either I don't get to do the entire space, they already have pieces they want to incorporate, which is fine. And I wanted to finally have a space that and I do it at home, obviously, but I wanted to make this space exactly everything my own, the style that I love to design in, and allow people just to come in too. I mean, the other factor is you don't have to come to me for interior design services. You could, call the number that's going to be on the sign out front and say, hey, I need a new sofa. That's it. I just need somebody to help me pick a good quality sofa that's going to last me 15 to 20 years. Can you help me with that? And, so I'll be able to have downstairs in the showroom products for people to see, feel, touch, and not have to go shopping with them at the King of Prussia Mall. So, I've got a lot more at my fingertips with being able to have my own showroom as far as what I can.
King of Prussia Mall has turned into two things for me: David German and La Colombe coffee.
Oh,
That's where it starts and ends.
yeah. Where do you get La Colombe coffee at the King of Prussia Mall?
Right across from David German. The Neiman Marcus there has a La Colombe.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So
Okay.
Go get coffee, and then I go.
I grew my 20s. I drank La Colombe coffee.
We all did.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah. You did
It
it?
wasn't invented yet.
Coffee.
You're not much older than me. Actually, I feel like La Colombe. So I was working in Center City at a restaurant called Circa.
Yeah,
Do you remember Circa? It turned into a nightclub on the
Yeah.
weekends. But I used to hang out at La Colombe, but I would say the early 90s. 93, 92, 93, something like that.
This is when I don't know when my phone.
The one on, was it
Bryn Mawr.
18th?
They're now putting them in cafes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were at
It's funny. We were in Exton, and we were at an event, and I got there early because there's no food there, against my judgment. But I went into this little market, the cafe, and they have La Colombe coffee, and I got a huge one. She's like, "Yeah, $2.46." Really? And there's a Starbucks, you can throw a rock and hit the Starbucks. And I'm pretty sure that size coffee is about $8.
Yeah. Wow.
So
Yeah. Good coffee.
So there we are.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think that's.
I think we're good.
This was awesome.
I like
So. But you designed these too, right? So let's
Yes.
talk about
Yeah, let's
that.
jump
real
into
quick.
that.
Okay. Yeah.
So talk about design, right? So
Edit that out,
not
Marcus.
just not then. So not only designing space, but this is giving you an opportunity to leap into actual furniture design.
Yes. So I've partnered with a local woodworker, and I met him, I want to say kind of at the beginning of my design career. And he's made tables over the years for clients of mine. So we would collaborate on size, wood species, stain, and come up with a design. And so I said, as soon as these doors are opening, Tom, you've got to come in here and let's collaborate and have some furniture. So the table we're sitting at is white oak with a weathered oak stain on it, and it can be a different species. It can be any size. It's got a beautiful base, which obviously can't see in the photo, but I would say this is kind of like a mix of mission style and sort of a little bit modern farmhouse. But yeah, we came up with a line of coffee tables, accent tables, dining tables.
Thomas Gray design. TM.
Yeah.
You can burn them on
And,
the bottom of each of them.
and desks so far, but he can do bookcases as well. And we're actually going to do over top of these cabinets, we're going to do a waterfall countertop, the same as this white oak. So yeah, but any size, wood species or stain color, and then even the poly or the oil finish on the top. So that's been fun. Yeah.
Super nice. I feel like we got you at the right time for this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like soon you're going to be like, I don't have time.
Too busy.
I'm way too busy. Talk to my assistant.
I
Put
will
something
always have
out
time
for
for you
18
guys.
months or so out. And
Yeah. Well,
have your girl call my girl.
oh my goodness.
Your people will
Yeah.
call my people. We'll coordinate. It gets busy fast. It does, and it's been It's been a hell of a journey. Appreciate you guys coming out today. We got Pat back,
Yeah.
Nicole, first time on the event. Right?
It's almost-
Yeah, and hopefully not the
It's almost like an event
guys and
now.
dolls.
Yeah, guys and dolls. Yeah, guys and pies and all kinds of stuff. And pizza was from. I loved it. You know what I mean? I love this boardwalk style.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, you gotta like sweet sauce because not everybody does, but I love it. So good.
Dessert and lunch together.
Yeah, right.
Rocco's Pizza, Phoenixville. Tom O'Neill, A&M Friendly Movers.
Pat DiCola, M Shop 360.
Our guest.
Nicole Grey, Grey Co Interiors.
See you guys next month.
See you.
Bye.